Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. Okay guys, so this is the base so far. The ladder that runs down south or to the bottom there, I'll show you guys that a little bit later. Been up to quite a bit here. Just want to go through sort of everything that I kind of remember from the last episode. Cool, let's zoom in and let me show you guys what I've been up to. Okay, so if you go up here now, what I've changed in this sort of area over here, remember I said I wanted to actually put some power, so the coal generators over this side to run sort of this thing individually, my oxygen sort of generation separately. Sorry repeating myself here again. Cool. But what I did here is nothing much has changed. I just took this layer these other sort of coal generators here I took out here with the batteries over here because it was getting just too hot. I find if there's a bigger open space, the heat sort of disperses and it doesn't get that hot. So these coal generators are supplying power to is pretty much just the three pumps. So the one that's pumping water down to the reservoir at the bottom, as well as pumping water through the sort of the cooling system here at the top here. One sec, guys, sorry, there we go. And this is still working fairly good. Let me quickly go to, let me just show you the temperature here. It is getting a slight bit warmer, but it's still blue. You know, it doesn't matter whether there is ice or no ice. Maybe this ice over here is kind of keeping everything sort of cool. I mean, it is still very hot over here, but it is kind of keeping the temperature cool down over here. As you can see, it is a slight bit hotter. So it's now at 38, but it's still fairly okay-ish. It's not too bad. And I have built sort of insulation around this side to keep the heat out from where I'm generating new power, and it's a lot closer and stuff like that. Insulation, double insulation there, insulation all the way around here in case this gets too hot and starts pushing the heat into the base over here. I did as well go around, I went all the way around. See, they're still building some of the insulation blocks all the way around here in case the heat comes from the bottom over here. And for some strange reason, I'm getting chlorine buildup here, and I don't know why. Well, while we're here, let me just show you. I put a pump down over here, and I literally just went down and down and down and down. It's a flippin' far away, but I have found oil. Now pumping the carbon dioxide down here because these guys here, the slicksters, they like carbon dioxide, but with me pumping everything down here, I've also pumped the chlorine into this area over here. I mean, the pressure is not that serious. Okay, down there it's quite serious. And I don't know, I think I've got to put another pump here and pump out but it's not too hot. Actually, that's that used to be a lot hotter. Oh my word. So by pumping the carbon dioxide down here, I've actually cooled it, or maybe the chlorine's cooled it. Holy moly. Okay, look at that. That's 80 degrees there, 81, but oh my word, I didn't even realize that. That is interesting. There's even a bit of oxygen down here, which is not a bad idea because, but the thing is, yeah, so these slicksters, they breathe in the carbon dioxide and they poop out crude oil. There's enough down here, so I've got to try, and that's so interesting that the carbon dioxide has actually cooled that whole area down, or it might be the chlorine. Got to keep that in mind there. Okay, so as you can see, everything is very sort of oxygenated here. Oh yes, what I did as well, let me just go over to this side over here. Actually, let me show you the piping. Actually, let me go in over here, and let me go over here. So what I've done here is I'm running all my carbon dioxide, and I think it is sort of fairly warmish because of this side is heating up. So all my carbon dioxide I'm pumping across and down to the slicksters there, to the oil thing over here. Now this is interesting here. Now this is I think I went a bit overboard here with batteries and stuff like that. But I started off with one of the fertilizers, so 4 doors, and that kind of keeps the natural gas in, even if the guys are walking in and out. And I've got to give a shout out to I'm not too sure what the guy's name is, Grind This Game. If you guys, he's also, when he plays Oxygen Not Included, I watch his stuff. I've picked up a lot of tips from him. Thanks to Grind This Game. Thank you very much. I do watch your your YouTube channel, and I have subscribed and everything else. But I mean, really, if you guys, another person who really loves this game, and give him a go there, have a look at his channel. Really, really good, and very good quality in his videos as well though. But anyway, coming back to what I've done here. So I've kind of put sort of started with the first sort of fertilizer, making the fertilizer. Remember, this was the area here where I was dumping all my, those were the doors where I came in here, and there's a tap here, and I was dumping all the polluted water down over here. So now I'm actually using the polluted water to make fertilizer, and then with that fertilizer I could actually start in the hydroponic area at the top over here. I could start putting in some what are they called, a sleet wheat grain, but the temperature, I think the temperature is too high for sleet wheat. I think it's got to be in the minuses. But this is my water cooling sort of system, and then all the gases have come up here. It's quite incredible that there's oxygen in here as well. I mean, there's everything. There is polluted, there is chlorine at the top there, and oh my word, and there's carbon dioxide. It's a super, and I think it's because of these mesh tiles, everything has come through here. What I did here, guys, I also sort of drilled, mined my way through here, because the polluted water was getting right to the top there and was actually falling into my fresh water over here. So I've made this area big here, and sort of so that all the polluted water falls through here and through here and is collected, and maybe because of the heat that this is generating over here, this ice is also melting, but there's also sort of polluted sort of ice, as you can see there, and that's sort of coming down here. But that's not a major problem, so that's what I changed over here. Not much over here. I did sort of dig maybe a little bit more of a sort of a, made this more of a like a sort of a nice sort of swimming pool for the guys. This is extremely hot up here. I mean, it is crazy hot. I mean, this water as well here, and I think the water has got a lot hotter. Look there, it's still 66. It is still hot, pumping from both sides. I switched the pumps on here. This pump has to run all the time just to cool everything down and bring water. Let me just show you guys here, and bring water to all my things on this side over here, as well as now pumping water. Oh, let me just quickly go out here. I had to now this is quite interesting. So let me show you the airflow. Now what I've realized with this setup over here, where I have two of the what you call it, these things over here, let me just go back in here, these electrolyzers, I have two of them with two of the pumps, right, with the gas filters on them, and 1 hydrogen sort of generator up here. This is enough to give oxygen to literally 1, 2, 3, 4. That one I haven't connected. So 4 of the outlets, the gas vents. That's why now I've put in another one over here, the same sort of setup, but this thermoregulator I'm trying it out here to cool the air. The water is the same from the top, so I've literally taken the water. Let me just show you guys again. The water comes from the top over here, and I sort of, it comes down over here, and then I've see, if you look down over here, I'm not pumping from this hot water down here. Maybe I should. See, I've disconnected it over here. So everything comes straight from the top, comes around, comes through here, hopefully cooling this area down a tiny bit. I don't know if it does. Water comes through here. It's feeding my second oxygen sort of setup there, and also bringing stuff down here to these over here, the carbon skimmers. But I don't know why the carbon skimmers are not actually skimming the carbon dioxide away. I think I did make a problem with it. The gas vent. Let me just show you this now over here, guys. Sorry, I'm jumping backwards and forwards, but let me just show you. So from the natural gas generators, I am literally letting the carbon dioxide go out here. It comes through here, it comes into this chamber over here, and these oxidizers sort of, I think they are doing sort of a job now and getting rid of the carbon dioxide, as well as forcing the carbon dioxide down to the slicksters at the bottom there where I found the oil, as well as releasing it over here again. A second chamber of fertilizers and stuff like that. Now what I'm doing with the fertilizers is I am actually feeding it to the hatches. The hatches are now eating the fertilizer, which I'm actually not using at the moment. My food is alright, stress is alright. As you can see, I have not gone to any of these. I've tried to stay away from this as much as possible until I get my plastic, so I can make my plastic from the bottom over here, pump up the oil and start refining the oil and bringing the crude oil and bringing it up over here to you got to convert the crude oil to petroleum, and then take the petroleum into sort of like a plastic maker, and then I'm going to sort of catch all the hatches, put them in one area, so I can keep them in one area and only build these. And the way I do it is, if you look inside here, for example now, agriculture, so what I've done is I've unticked the fertilizer over here, alright, and what I do is I build these storage compactors. I build them here, here, and everywhere else. And then what I do is I actually turn down, I put so the max in kilos is 20,000, so it's 20 tons. I take it down to about 5 tons. And so wherever there is a hatch, I build this storage compactor here, fill it only with fertilizer. So I've taken fertilizer out of all of these, so they won't put the fertilizer in here. Taking that storage compactor, put it there, and only put fertilizer, sort of 5 tons of fertilizer that goes in there, so that the hatches can eat it. So it's actually pretty good what I've done. What I think is it's something that is being made, that I can constantly get made and constantly feed it to the hatches. Because I was using my raw material. See the sandstone, I'm down to 20 tons. I was using the sandstone and feeding them the sandstone. I have got, I think, a little bit more dirt. I've got, again, just in case I need for food. Clay I can feed them as well, because clay I don't think you use for anything else. See, fertilizer, I'm down to 41 tons here. It's making a lot, so it's kind of like, so the base is sort of very much sort of stabilized at the moment. Let me just show you the temperature overlay over here. I have kept the base in sort of very much. Obviously found a lot more of these wheezeworts and put them in over here. Plus I have built more of the hydro fans. Again, I've got 16 dupes at the moment, so I can take some dupes to actually run the hydro fans where the heat is mainly coming from. So it's coming from the top down here. That's why these two fans are over here, and the heat is also coming in from over here. Put a weeds wart there and that over there so that we can keep the. I've got to close this door again because otherwise it's bleeding through there. But as you can see, the living area, the living quarters and stuff like that is still pretty good, and this is growing. Some of them are is a bit stunted in that. I've possibly got to find a better place to, maybe put some down over here, some more of these mules, but it is sort of holding okay. Let me just show you the oxygen sort of situation. Oh, okay, it's not so good. Why is it not so good? This whole thing was absolutely blue at one stage. That's interesting. Because with this one here, as well as the one at the top, it was pumping in so much oxygen. That's actually quite interesting. Wow, there's a lot of oxygen everywhere here. That's interesting. Is it bleeding out somewhere? Have I cut a pipe away somewhere over here? Now another thing, guys, let me just show you this. So let me go to the electricity and that. This is very important. You've got to make sure that, let's just say example for this setup over here, you've got to make sure that you are under 1,000 watts, because the transformers over here are only 1,000 watts. If you go over 1,000 watts, it's going to overload and it's going to switch things on and off all the time because it can't get enough sort of power to these things. So every single thing over here, so like example, this has its own row of batteries with a transformer, alright? Then this has its own thing, and then that has its own thing, and then my oxygen generator has its own thing. As you can see, these batteries over here, obviously everything comes from the natural gas generators over here and comes through here and comes up here and goes inside over here. Now, yeah, another thing I wanted to try as well is I opened another bike. See, I'm right on the edge here. I wanted to see if I could pump in cold air here, which is now at minus 29, and bring it over here and try cool this area down over here. So this might be an experiment to actually do, because over here you've got these high pressure gas vents. Now, what I might do is actually make a room, alright, pump this gas in here at a very high pressure, absolutely freeze the room as much as I possibly can, then put in some oxygen because the carbon dioxide will be at the bottom, alright, and the oxygen will literally drift to the top. Then put in this sort of a system over here to actually super cool that, and insulate and super cool this sort of like a room here, and then pump the oxygen out through, obviously through the system over here, so that we actually get, you know, colder air going into base. That's sort of another experiment I want to do. I've got to be very careful. Sorry, not changing the subject again, guys. I've got to be very careful of my food and that. But everything else seems to be sort of normalizing. So the food is a good thing. My stress levels are pretty good. There is no disease as yet. I can now focus on getting up the petroleum, but my only problem here is that it's gonna generate sort of a lot of heat, and it needs power, so I'm gonna have to try pump up the... Oh yes, fantastic. I found, before I carry on here, sorry guys, just changing the subject quickly here, I found a natural gas geyser. So this guy is going to be fed into these guys just to supplement it, just to keep it topped up completely. I am sort of running out of polluted water. That's another concern. I might need to somehow find some more polluted water there. But anyway, the oxygen, so what has to happen is now the crude oil from down here, I'm going to pump up, alright, and then bring it the same direction as the pipe. Come through here. As you can see, I've sort of gone through over here. Let me just get to the air vents here quickly. Whoops. Let me get to the air vents over here. Ah, there we go. I went up here, went around. So the pipe's going to follow the same sort of way, and then possibly make another room down over here. Because it's so hot here already, let me show you the temperature. Because it's so hot here already, it doesn't really matter. Maybe even bring it across up over here and keep it in the refrigerated area, close this off again so this thing stays super ice cold, and possibly put the whole sort of plastic production idea over here. It's not a bad idea. I mean, I can bring through the piping, which is actually not a bad idea, and bring it through here to this side over here. There is enough power over here. I am gonna build another sort of bank of batteries over here, which I can bring down over here and run it across. Oops, there's some water there. I must be careful of that, otherwise they're gonna get soggy feet. Bring it across here and do it. That's actually not a bad idea. Do my plastic production over here. Guys, I am going to be doing this off camera, then I will come back and I will show you. If you have any questions or you need to know something, because I'm also sort of working through this. I do watch other people as well. I'm not going to lie, and I've got some really good ideas from it. But some of the ideas sort of I'm just experimenting with, just to see and try things out and everything else. But anyway, so now the question is, and I've got to use gold. See, the thing is, now have a look here at my copper. I've got like 1,000. I'm running out of things. I mean, I've only got 800. I have not gone into here. I want to do the plastic. I want to really do the plastic stuff first, so that I don't get sick. I don't get that slime lung in that. So that is sort of what I've been up to over here. So I'm going to carry on for the last bit of this episode, and I'm going to try do my... You see, this is a problem here because it's so flippin' hot here. You know, it's so hot that if I run the pipe up through here, it's gonna heat the base up considerably. I have to do a shortcut here. You see, in this sort of this, it actually stretches up quite. You know what, guys, I'm actually gonna do it. Let me think about this. I've got to think about this. I can't rush into it now. What I might do here, in between these two things over here, I'm gonna maybe bring this ladder down here. Bring it down here, come across, go underneath the thing over here, and then bring it across here. So it doesn't matter if it's like super hot. I must just be careful that this is... The guys do get scolded and they do get injured, and the game was actually telling me to say, listen, you need to build some medical beds over here, so that the guys can heal themselves. But anyway, guys, it is sort of sustainable. The base is sustainable. Let me just put it that way. It is working, and it is, you know, kind of working. I can sort of leave it alone, and I can kind of focus on sort of like experimental stuff and expanding the base a little bit and getting all the stuff that I need to do for the plastic so that I can start with this over here. But I am thinking I'm gonna go down through here. Yeah. It's gonna open up a bit of chlorine, but as you can see over here, these are the layers, and I can clearly see it. These are the layers. So oxygen sort of is in, this is chlorine, I mean like the hydrogen right at the top. It's the lightest. Then it's oxygen. Then it's polluted oxygen. And then it is carbon dioxide. It's kind of like my gauge, kind of by mistake, but now I can see where my gas layers are. Oops, and there's a whole lot of water down here as well, melting, possibly melting from this side over here. I did do this over here. I might move these storage things away here, because this has got, let me just show you guys, it's just got literally, what has it got? It's got ice in there, it's got snow in there. That's just ice and snow that I put in over there. But if I destroy these things and the stuff melts here, it's not the polluted stuff, although I am going to get polluted ice everywhere. If you look there, that's polluted oxygen. Why is that bottled up? And that's polluted water there. I might actually even put a tap down here, put a tap up here, so that it'll drip it down over here. Okay guys, so it is working. Let me have a look at the coal situation. It's not, I am running a bit low. I was at 100 tons. It is slowly building up now, but I've got it. I want to try and move completely away from coal. And yeah, work with natural gas. Yeah, I might even open this up here even a lot further here. Get this thing, I must just be careful, I mustn't go underneath the thing over there. Maybe put one over here and then one over here that can fill and overflow onto there. Yeah, okay, so that's about it guys. Sorry I haven't done anything on this episode over here. Guys, I am going to put a cut in it here. I am going to work sort of off camera so I can just show you things. And again guys, if you have any questions or just leave me a comment, I'll get back to you. I'll help you guys out. And if you've got a YouTube channel, and you just to drop the link there and I'll go have a look at it, and I'll definitely see what you guys, and probably even learn from you guys, you know. That's how I'm learning, you know. Anyway guys, cool. Thanks for, sorry for me carrying on and on and on, but I just wanted to show you guys what I've been up to and everything else. Anyway guys, thanks very, very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and guys, I'll see you on the next episode. Cool guys, cheers, cheers, bye.